Dahlia Riversong gulped her maiden breath on a moon-pale dawn, 24 February 1999, inside a pine-paneled shack, raised on driftwood pillars above the mirror-smooth reaches of Oregon's Net Arts Bay. Outside, a curious harper seal bobbed at the piling footings, while her mother, a rambling funk-folk banjo picker who tugs pressed trillium petals between spare strings, coaxed a lazy chord that made enamel mugs resonate like tiny bells. Her father, a storm boy electrician who entertains himself by sketching cloud otters on tight log worksheets, leaned so close their freckles merged and swore aloud that wharf whispers, hallway snickers, and clothing rails tapping out at 14 would always sidestep any soul willing to inhabit her outline edge to edge. Hers have swum the Riversong bloodline since a bootlegged Grant great-grand re-wove fishing net into county fair gowns, so nobody panicked when baby Dahlia burst two homespun wraps before the tea kettle sighed. Granny Xenia simply ran a sail needle through each split seam, patched the gaps with remic kite cloth, then laughed that a handful of fabric costs pennies while squeezing a child can cost galaxies of sunrise. First grade corridors smelled of cedar shavings, marionberry turnover floating from the canteen window, and briny wind sneaking through warped louvers. Dahlia already rose half a head above her desk mates, eclipsing the projector beam whenever she mapped Graywell pit stops on the pull-down atlas. One sleet-sting recess, a pair of classmates hop-skipped rings, chanting Scowboat. Every thunk her rubber soles landed on chalk squares. After dinner, she walked the Strand, pocketed soda caps, polished satin by surf, threaded them on monofilament, stitched the jangly spine down her tie-green hoodie, and wandered into morning homeroom, scattering prism freckles across ceiling tiles the color of gull wings. A volunteer aide caught 9 shaky seconds on a prepaid phone, posted the shimmer to a seedling video forum, and by lunch, 15,000 strangers cheered the child who forged mockery into lighthouse flair. Dahlia wrote a plump promise beside long division drills. Clouds crowd only until you flash them bright. Saturday dawns belonged to the public pier, where her mother's banjo twang tangled with diesel coughs from dory engines, skillet hisses from oyster cake stalls, and gulls bargaining for perch heads. Retail jeans stalled mid-thigh, so Dahlia traded tip jar quarters for sun-bleached gill net, unraveled it into rope, crocheted a high-waist skirt, sprayed squinting puffin silhouettes, then posed at tangerine sunset against rust-striped pylons while her cousins snapped grainy frames. Each image drifted into an online journal titled Lantern Drift. The same week, a shiny photo app trickled across Patchy Bay Towers. Captions hopped between dock slang and simple truths like, curves anchor gusts steadier than seawalls. 2 months before 16 Candles' 51,000 unseen hearts tapped the tiny heart under every mango frame, proof glowing rectangles hushed cafeteria razors faster than any assistant coach whistle. A tidal energy scholarship swept her east to the Georgia Institute of Technology. Daylight evaporated inside turbine channels. Nights belonged to a 24-hour peach cobbler truck, glowing neon guava beneath drooping Spanish moss. The heat lamp doubled as ring light. Between cobbler orders, she filmed 90-second reels, folding parchment into magnolia barrettes while decoding dark rotation in half, lecture snap half, shoreline hush. One upload lace bottlenose chirps through lo-fi shuffle while she chain-stitched reflective anchor cord into thrift denim. 47 hours later, view counters raced beyond 1.3 million. Southern-style pages crowned her the cobbler couturier, though every sponsor pitch still froze at size 16. She filed each deck in a folder marked shrinking nets, brushed cinnamon sugar from her cuff, and ladled another serving with a grin as wide as dawn. Storm readiness drills yielded an email stamped Columbia Sportswear. Would she co-design a spray show capsule called Bayflower Pulse? Dahlia replied with 3 pure solid conditions. Patterns graded to 60-inch hips, half the creative crew hired from community college sewing programs, 10% of net profit pledged to Salt Marsh renewal from Stapilo to St. Simon's. Columbia signed before dawn blushed lab beakers coral. The shoe unfolded on a low-tide sandbar where Sanderling chicks scribbled commas toward mirror water. Dahlia guided paddle borders of every outline across glassy ripples while a drone carved lazy infinity loops overhead. When the lookbook went live, every extended size jacket vanished in 41 hours across 34 nations, and Lantern Drift soared past 700,000 lantern icons. Pause and check your rail ticket if the subscribe button up there is still crimson. flip it to soft gray right now. That single tap locks your front row seat, so next Friday's tide glides into your notifications before algorithm currents can reroute the channel. After you click glide to the description for a quiet doorway labeled Love Route, a science-wise map many viewers credit for steering ordinary chats straight to spark and guiding them toward the most reliable way to make the woman they cherish fall in love. Spotlight, shimmer, lured, rumor goals. A clickbait vlog swore Dahlia gripped steel plates round her waist inside bayflower shells. At first light, she paddled a cedar board past eelgrass braids, feet bare in linen shorts and crop top, traced every silver stretch line with crushed bougainvillea dust, invited her mother's trumpet to sing a raw blue bend so sweet pelicans hovered in place. 10 million viewers reposted the clip, dusting fuchsia pollen on their own curves until gossip slipped under a slack tide. Cobbler truck wages braided with capsule royalties and whipped into bright wave butter, a pillow soft cream swirling spruce tip custard, key lime oil, and mica sparks that glow seashell white under any flash. 19,000 tins, cooled on her father's chartboard, lids tied with braided crab pot cord. Each tag stamped moisturize your horizon. Stock drained in 82 minutes, lifting $198,000. 20% seeded Beacon grant sending industrial surgers and hydrophones to plus-size teens in shoreline schools from Brunswick to Biloxi. 8 months later, 38 Beacon crews streamed a floating fashion in dolphin harmony showcase aboard a retro shrimp scow strung in solar lanterns, sunrise color splashing into classrooms from Kingston to Kyoto. Vanna wore Fashion Night minted brand new Jetty Legend when a backstage blower ripped her sapphire mesh gown from hip to knee 80 breasts before runway. Dahlia ripped neon dock rope off a rid brace, laced the gap like hiking hooks, and strode the planks as though the splice had glimmered in every sketch. Shutters cracked like kettle corn, Vogue Harbor named the Save Rope, Cadence Rescue, and Lantern Drift gained another million lantern sparks before brass horns could warm a reed. Trouble circled again when a spurned aide leaked crap mails hinting she demanded crab trap banquets and chauffeured airboats per her rescue pelican quill. She posted the chain entire. Refillable water urns, lentil stew for crew, caption monitors for death stylists. That month's affiliate swell, $136,000. Funded biodegradable crab trap pilots off Cape Fear. Fans echoed her breakwater rule. Receipts shine brighter than rumor grit until whispers flatten like tide pool glass. Family stays her compass. Twice a month she streams Porchline Groove. Mom breezes soulful riffs beside a propane griddle. Dad recites cloud haiku. Dahlia flips thrift denim while Quill toddles sugar spirals. One broadcast soared past 9 million viewers when the bird sneezed glitter onto the phone lands. A wildlife trust now sponsors each session, tagging rehabilitated pelicans with solar beacons funded by Bright Wave Butter. Premium revenue shimmered beyond $12 million before Solstice 2. She leased a dormant oyster shed, carved skylights into corrugated tin, hired furloughed deckhands plus design grads to whip custard knot lids by hand during midday funk sets. Auditors begged for shrink seals. She repeated Granny Tie's rule that fingers keep legend longer than plastic sleeves, and rope ties stayed human. Her feed holds honest weather, but Salt Bluff portraits share scroll space with Churro Van, same sky, different tide. She uploads breath loops recorded in seaside caves, printable resilience sheets in English and Chinook jargon, therapy vouchers buried 3 swipes down. 148,000 readers call her shoreline candor their first calm harbor. Community glow rides sparkle under crushed shell confetti. Hundreds coast sunset causeways wearing bright wave butter on collarbones and LED kelp tassels spinning from spokes. Ticket proceeds plump beacon grants and lift wheelchair snorkel rigs over Crystal Springs. Chowder huts simmer late. Clam bowls jump 15% on ride nights. Dahlia pedals lead on a vintage cruiser with quill plush strapped up front, pausing to retie any rider's trailing lace. She is drafting Currents Keep Names, destined for 11 language shelves next spring, while a documentary crew shadows her dream to weld retired boy chains into floating maker studios for peninsula schools. Puma's wide wave lantern sneaker touches shore next quarter, threaded with reflective rope cushioned by algae foam, passing 10% of revenue to Beacon Nurseries, hugging the Pacific Rim. This is your second sale trim reminder. If that subscribe badge still flashes red, settle it to gray. Now, one touch guarantees next week's tide arrives before algorithm eddies can tangle the root. And remember, the Love Route link waits anytime you feel ready to chart a brighter romance. Autumn dusk hushes into slack water, new bright wave tins, beacon portals, tonight's porch line playlist, and that confidence compass trusted by thousands rests just below this video, free and one click away. If the soda cap, hoodie, shimmer, rope lace, gown rescue, or quill glitter sneeze teased even half a grin, tap like, release your brightest ripple in the comments, and share this voyage with a friend whose sails hang limp. Every curve diverts currents, every scar refracts lighthouse beams, and the coast bows to anyone who plants sure boots on the pier and greets tomorrow eyes bright. This invitation before lights dim. Subscribe, write this heartbeat, claim your rail, open the Love Route link in the description, and meet me on the next rising tide when a fresh story sparkles beyond the breakers and courage speaks your name anew.